Greetings. Welcome to our masterclass. It is
Mastery.
yes, it's the Wounded Healer Masterclass with Lisa and I. And I want to give a few people maybe some time to get up here. And Lisa,
Yes,
you have anything you'd like to say?
have some time to allow people to join in.
Yes.
It's I always like to rhyme and so I'm kind of cheesy so it's mastery in May. It's May mastery. It's a
I don't
beautiful
think
time,
it's easy. I
right?
think it's really clever.
hmm And what better time than now? We're Of course, we started spring started at the end of March, right? So it's all about renewal and clearing out the debris. And so I feel like this is part of that flow to assist those who want to help themselves on their journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we talked a little bit about this from our April 10th show,
Mm-hmm.
where, and I think I had asked you, because this came to you, right? The idea of this class came to you while you were, I think, were you doing some inner work yourself?
Yes, I was.
hmm
And
So,
going through some, I would say not only family drama, but maybe even work drama. And so,
mhm.
yeah, it was right around the holidays, and it was just everything hitting all at once. And instead of asking, why me, I
Mhm.
kind of asked, okay, why is this happening?
Mhm.
Because it wasn't happening to me, it was just happening. So,
Mhm. Excellent. Well, it's not excellent that you had to undergo at that time, but right, sometimes it takes that uncomfortable situation or moment in time for us to realize the brighter side of it.
well, and if I remember correctly, Lisa, you were going through some things as well.
Indeed, absolutely. Um, Greetings, Jessamy. Welcome, welcome. Now let me ask Raven. Oh, okay. Can we see who's with us? Is there a way to see who is here?
Um, no, not really,
Okay.
unless they comment, we can't really see. So we know
hmm
Jessamy is here.
Yes.
Um, so
Well, welcome,
so shall
welcome.
we get started?
Absolutely. Well, I do see that so it does show that we have 5 individuals, welcome,
Mhm.
welcome, that are here. Oh, we miss you too, Jessamy. Hope life is treating you well. It's kind of gone fast forward, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
May. So I do see that there are 5 individuals. So that's excellent.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And we do miss you too, Jessamy.
Yes. So please stay. Please, if you have the time, for all of you who are here in this moment, please stay while we have this conversation, because it's more than it's not a conversation. This is a master class, and it's one of 6.
Yes.
hmm
So
So welcome.
welcome. So this would be lesson one. And lesson one is going to be about recognition, not repair. Nothing in this lesson is meant to be fixed, released, transformed, or anything like that yet. The work this week is simply to name What has been shaping you quietly? For many wounded healers, naming the truth brings relief and sometimes grief. Both are welcome because both are part of the process. And Lisa, feel free to jump in at any time and you know.
Indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just sharing our link with a few individuals that possibly don't know that we're here right now, just to
Okay.
welcome in. Mm-hmm.
So, before we go any further, I want to be clear about what this lesson is and what it is not. This lesson is not about blaming yourself, blaming your past, blaming the people you love. It's about understanding how strength, love, and self abandonment can become tangled, especially after grief or loss. We are naming patterns, not assigning fault. What is a wounded healer? So, a wounded healer is not someone who is broken. A wounded healer is someone who learned, often early in life, that being strong kept things together. Being helpful kept them needed. And being quiet kept the peace. Being available kept love close. Those adaptations were intelligent. They were protective. They worked until they didn't. Most wounded healers were praised for resilience, reliability, compassion, emotional maturity, but often went unseen was the cost. Over time, strength can quietly become hyper responsibility, self neglect, overgiving, difficulty resting, and guilt when saying no. So let's stop right there because that one is the one. Well, I think I have all of those symptoms, okay? But guilt when saying no. How many of you feel that guilt of having to say those words no?
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure many can, many can attest to that statement right there,
Yes.
that you feel bad if you have to say no. But it's okay. It's okay to
It's
say no.
not, it is okay to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello, lickety split.
Greetings.
6234. I like that name.
Greetings. Mm-hmm.
But it's okay to say no. And you feel so many of us feel guilty saying no, not because you lack boundaries, but because love felt safer when you carried more, when the love becomes survival. For many people, especially those who have experienced grief, loss, trauma, sudden separation, love and safety become linked. And Jessamy says, love without boundaries is self destruction. That's exactly it. Yes.
That is a wonderful way of stating that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 110%.
And
Wow.
hello, Sister Cinnamon Moon. We're glad to see you here. So, yes, Jessamy, you're so right about that. And, so we really want the audience to kind of participate in this. Lisa and I don't want to sit up here and preach to anybody. But if
Absolutely.
if there's something that we're saying, just like Jessamy just did, please speak up, because
Hmm.
this is the place to do it. This is the place where all of us can get together and discuss this, because we all need some healing. And we hope you stay, Cinnamon, but
Hmm.
I understand you are working.
Hmm.
So love and safety become linked. The nervous system learns, if I stay close, if I give more, I don't disappoint and I won't lose them. How many people have thought about this? Come on.
Hmm.
Because I don't know, I guess if we disappoint some people, they won't love us anymore. Is that, and that
Absolutely.
becomes our thinking that our nervous system has.
Hmm.
Is that, and it's not a weakness at all. This is the body trying to survive connection. Self abandonment also begins here, as not as a choice, but as an adaptation. Important truth.
Mm. Absolutely.
This is an important truth, and I'm going to say this very, very slowly. You did not disappear because you didn't love yourself enough. You disappeared because love once cost you something unbearable, and your system learned how to prevent that pain from happening again. And that is, I think, very important, because we as humans, I mean, we try to avoid pain at all costs.
Hmm.
So Jessamy says, I've lost myself in countless relationships with anxious attachment. If I love more, if I love harder, they'll stay. But it destroys the relationship and it wears you down. Oh my God, that is so true.
Hmm. Thank you. Thank you, Jess. Um, and just a few moments ago, you mentioned the nervous system, right? Our nervous system. Our nervous system is programmed. It gets programmed as we grow up and
Mhm.
learn patterns and behaviors. And um, it's bringing, it's us in this moment recognizing those patterns that have been created over our lifetime, and maybe where we don't want to run that pattern anymore.
Mhm. But we get this pattern. I mean, let's think about it. I mean, even in the mother's womb, we can hear our mother's voice. We can hear voices around us.
Hmm.
When we're born into a family. We learn all the quirks and craziness of that family.
Hmm.
Then we go to school and we learn if we're different, then we get made fun of. So we try to conform. And all this time, this is what we are teaching our nervous system
Hmm.
to do. And Cinnamon says, I think we begin our healing process by being true to ourselves, our authenticity. And if we can accept ourselves for who we are, then we don't have to live up to the expectations of others. This is part of self love and acceptance. Others can't hurt us then. We can understand that we all make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cinnamon, that's absolutely true. And how long did it take you to realize this? Because it takes us all so long to realize all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's figure, okay, why self-love feels hard at first? Cinnamon says years. Yeah, I'm still going through it, I swear. This is something people are rarely told. Self love does not feel empowering in the beginning. It often feels lonely, destabilizing, grief filled, and confusing. Yeah, because when I was going through all of that drama back then, I was standing my ground, and I have to admit, I did the ugly cry for a while, and it was hard because I had to stand my ground to take care of myself instead of giving in and giving a part of myself away to keep peace. And Cinnamon says, or selfish. Yeah, absolutely. Self compassion and reparenting your inner child is so important. Yes. I talked to 5-year-old Jess, 7-year-old Jess, 12-year-old Jess, whichever me needs help. I get to be the person I needed back then. By doing that, I can heal through quantum timelines and heal past, present, and future. That's amazing that you can do that because, Jess, I know you're younger than me, and that's a very knowledgeable thing, and that's a very wise thing
Mm-hmm.
that you're doing with yourself. And we all need to go back and take care of that child because that child is still there, and that child will eventually react. Like if things come up, that child never healed from those types of situations. So that child bring it gets brought up in this, and that child can feel the abandonment, the grief, the confusion, and which is why to keep us from feeling the grief and the confusion and all of that, we usually just give up part of ourselves and give in to keep the peace and to keep the love from the other person because we don't realize the other person would still love us. And if they don't, they don't, you know. But this isn't about what's right or wrong or any blame. We are here just recognizing this. So Cinnamon says some people think it's foolish to work with the inner child, but it's actually very empowering and healing in the process. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And Jessamy says you can do that with any you at any age in a way that's how we become infused with our higher self. Time isn't linear.
Mm-hmm.
Jessamy, so wise. I swear.
Absolutely. But the inner child work is profound. Absolutely profound healing.
Hmm.
Sure.
Yeah, we seriously do need to nurture our inner child because apparently our inner child wasn't nurtured, and it's the beginning of all these things that we do, like overgiving and being the peacemaker and staying silent when you need to say something, and making it's hard to say no.
Mm-hmm. Or how about putting everybody first and then what about us?
Right.
Which is another example of overgiving, but at the same time, agreeing to, go to that basketball game when you really should be doing something else, or, what have you.
Giving up a piece of yourself just to.
Yes.
And Cinnamon says, I just sobbed the first time I found my inner child. It was so beautiful and so healing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And Jessamy says, thank you. You've both taught me so much. You opened the rabbit hole, I suppose, and I keep exploring. Yeah, I think Jessamy just keeps remembering.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I feel like Jessamy has taught me quite a bit too. And that's people come into our lives. They're either a lesson or a blessing, and we can figure out which way that is.
Mm-hmm.
So, because when you stop disappearing, you feel exhaustion and you ignored the sadness. You postponed the parts of you that were never allowed to need. That doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means you're finally listening. And Jessamy says that's what tribe sisters do. Put a heart. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And Lickety Split says, well said. Thank you. I believe it was well said.
Mm-hmm.
So it means you're finally listening. Gentle reflection. So I would like everybody to take a moment and sit with these specific questions. You can either answer them and participate as the audience, or you can go within yourself and answer these questions for yourself. So, where in my life do I work the hardest to stay okay? Where in my life do I work the hardest to stay okay? I could sit and write about that and journal about that quite a bit. So the next question is, where do I feel responsible for other people's comfort? That's a big one because we sacrifice ourselves so others will feel better. That's kind of like sacrificing. You can't say no because that's uncomfortable. So, and that would make somebody else uncomfortable. So you sacrifice yourself for somebody else's comfort. Jessamy says, feeling like I'm not productive enough when I overwork or overserve. Yeah. Or overgive. But I guess overserve and overgive are kind of the same. Cinnamon says, when you look deeply at the wounded healer, they are the individuals who have walked in shadow on countless levels. That may mean experiencing addiction, breaking the law, bottomless pits of life, and learning to overcome it. We have made the worst mistake. We may have made the worst mistakes possible and think we're unforgivable, but that's not the case. We all need to learn to forgive ourselves, to own the mistakes, and to heal from the lessons they held. That's very profound because I,
Mhm.
for one, have the hardest time. I can forgive somebody else of a lot of stuff, but it takes a lot for me to forgive myself. And that's one of the things that I am working on is forgiveness and grace for myself. So Jessamy says, people pleasing was my downfall for most of my life. I wasn't allowed to have boundaries as a child. Now I know I can have them, and they are a superpower. Yep.
Yes. Awesome.
How many of us have gone through that? You
Hmm.
know, we weren't allowed to have feelings or emotions because have you heard that, stop that crying or I'll give you something to cry for,
Hmm.
or told I was being dramatic or something like that, because I had feelings and I thought my feelings should matter.
Absolutely.
And that's what Jessamy's talking about as well.
Hmm. Absolutely. That part of us that was not able to express ourselves as we were moving through something.
Hmm. So, and the next question is, what part of me is tired of being strong? I don't know about y'all, but I could lift a Buick by now. They say that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And yeah, I can do it one handed.
Yes.
What do you guys feel about that question? Well, there is no need to solve these questions. Noticing them is quite enough.
Mhm.
Lisa, do you have a nervous system integration?
Well, what I do have to share about this as you do gentle reflections, one of the breathwork techniques is breathing in for 4, holding for 2, count of 2, and exhaling a count of 6. And when our exhale is longer than our inhale, we are telling our bodies that we are safe. And when reflecting upon these questions or others that may come upon throughout this course, remember to be gentle with yourselves because that's part of the self-love process and being able to move through the emotions. But whatever comes to the surface is just fine. There is no judgment. This is for your freedom. And it's also an emotional freedom. getting rid of all those things that have been trapped or stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Jessamy says, my dog started barking. Can you repeat it for me, please? So you probably are thinking about the third question, which is, what part of me is tired of being strong? So when awareness brings emotion, that's normal, believe it or not. Tears, numbness, tightness, or fatigue are signs that your body recognizes truth, not that something is wrong. Slow is safe here, reframing the pattern. Here is the reframe we're holding gently this week. You are not failing at love. You are learning how to stay connected without leaving yourself behind. And Jessamy says, when or if you start crying when doing breath work, let those tears flow. Tears have healing powers. Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely correct.
Mm-hmm. And your tears are sacred.
Yes.
Sacred waters of your body.
Well, yeah, water is first medicine. It cleanses us from the inside and the outside. And Jessamy says, I'm tired of having to always be strong, the solid one, the warrior. I'd like some soft feminine days in there too. The best of both worlds. I'm hearing you, sister.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you loud and clear because, yeah. And Cinnamon says, left hand over heart, right hand raised to the universe. Breathe in love to the heart and exhale to release tensions. Absolutely. I'm really, really liking the participation because I think that, well, actually, it looks like our audience is an audience of healers too. But this is the Wounded Healer Masterclass, after all.
Well, and as you said that, Raven, we're all healers. We are all born with the capability of being healers.
Mm-hmm. And Jessamy says, being the only problem solver becomes a whole different problem later on. Absolutely.
That's
You
the
got
truth.
that right, sister girl.
Mm-hmm. That's the truth.
So let me just say, nothing that you notice tonight needs to be acted on. There is no homework to fix yourself. Between now and the next class, the only invitation is this. Notice when you push past what feels okay, and notice it without judgment. That's it. Awareness is the work of the week. So, and I also want to say that we have a workbook sheet that we are going to be giving out for this class. So anybody who contacts me, this corner right up here with the little duck, if you take a picture of that, it'll take you to my website and you can email me directly from there. And Cinnamon says, grounding the stress and tension is vital, or it wears on us and causes physical symptoms and disease. Yep, it's the first part of disease. And then Jessamy says, it's okay to tell Source, I yield. Please take over for now. Yes, it definitely is. So, as I was saying, there is a worksheet for our class. And so this is a sample of the worksheet that you can see. And it tells the intention of the class. And this first class is basically awareness. It gives you a definition of what a wounded healer is and the hidden costs of strength. And when love becomes survival, and an important truth, why self-love can feel hard at first. And a gentle reflection, which is the 3 questions that we had put up there. And a reframe to hold this week. And then between now and the next week. So, what we should have done was we should have started with a blessing. And that's usually what Lisa does most amazingly. So, and good evening, Arthur.
I just want to mention, Raven, because you said for the next week, next Sunday is Mother's Day.
Right.
And we're not going to meet on Mother's Day. So actually,
following week, I'll be out of town. So we will be skipping 2 Sundays, but then after that, we will be here for the rest. There will be 6 classes in this master class. And so this first class is more about awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, if you guys take a picture of the little duck thing square up there, yeah, right up above Miss Lisa, it will take you to my website. Or you can email me at ravenlong59@gmail.com, which if you go to my website, it'll give you that email too. And it will give you the worksheet. And so each week we are going to have a lesson, and then we're going to have a worksheet. And this worksheet, you're just going to be thinking about those 3 questions, and you're going to have a little more awareness about these things. And like we said in the beginning, there is nobody to blame. We can't blame. We're not blaming us. We're not blaming family members. We're not blaming anything. We just want to be aware because there's nothing to even fix.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are enough. We have to realize that. And Jessamy says, I'm excited. Thank you for doing this. We're excited too. And thank you for being here and participating in this, because that makes it all the more better.
Absolutely.
I know that was not correct, but all the more better is how I felt. And that's with y'all being here. It is better. And with all of us being able to communicate and speak about these things and help each other realize what we are doing and how to get back to our authentic self or our higher self is going to be what we need to do.
And for those of you who did not catch our show from April 10th, this is all free. There's no gimmicks. It's just us sharing space, bringing an awareness. And as Raven said, when we get together and we share these experiences and these moments and different tools and techniques, together we are stronger, right? We are
Yes.
united and we are stronger together.
And Tim just came in and had this big note on a piece of paper. If you just saw me looking, up there was to Deborah Williams, our last guest. So I just changed it back to Raven's Healing Art.
Oh no. Okay.
Thank you, Tim.
Yes. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for testing it out.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank
right?
you.
Because
Okay.
poor Deborah, she's like, what? Who? Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited for
Mm,
these classes to go on. And, I put that they should last an hour, but they last as long as they need to last.
mhm, mm. And Raven, um, will this video be posted on the channel so that those that either came in at the end or the beginning or weren't here for the entirety, where can they find our replay?
First, Jessamy says, good save, Tim.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes.
Um, you can find our replay on Facebook for at least 30 days,
Okay, great.
but it will be on our YouTube channel. I will be making a little segment that is going to be called the Masterclass. And so right now it'll be on our YouTube channel as far as lives go. But after we get finished, I'm going to take it and put it under a little segment that will be Masterclass. So, and
Excellent.
we will put all 6 master classes together.
Excellent.
And don't hesitate, get a hold of me either on Facebook or email, go to my website, and I'll send you the workbook page because I think it's important having up. And Cinnamon says, shoot me a notice and I'll post it on my page and in my group. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yes,
And
thank
Cinnamon is with spiritlodge.com. So, yeah, awesome. And she's an awesome author too. So,
you.
yeah,
Excellent.
so we will be able to do that. And I'm loving the comments and the
Mhm.
communication between us because I think we should all gather around and like Lisa says, we are all healers. We are self-healers.
Mhm.
Every single one of us. And
Mhm.
I was taught a long time ago that a wounded healer goes through something so they're able to understand and help somebody else going through something similar.
Mhm.
Because we always have to extend our hand and pull each other up because that's what we need to do for each other.
Mhm. And like you said, in a circle, right? In a circle, and it doesn't have to be a sister circle. It could just be a soul
So,
circle. Okay? This is not just for the females. This is also for the divine masculine. And
yes,
we're going to pretend this is a stick, right? So in the circle, they the circles take turns with the talking stick
yes,
and share their experiences and their wisdoms, and then pass the stick along and listen to the wisdom that is to be shared within that circle.
yes. And Cinnamon says, and not be afraid to ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wise strength to be willing to take a hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely.
Beautifully said, Cinnamon. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
So, but honestly, I'd be more than happy to send you the workbook pages. And you have, once you get all 6 of the workbook pages, you have the master class. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
and the only diploma is us healing each other.
Mm-hmm.
So Jessamy says, Cinnamon, I needed that. Thank you. I've been trying to do that more. Yeah, it's a hard thing to do, is to accept help. And I think because of conditioning and programming, people think that, oh my God, I needed help. But actually, accepting help is a very strong thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And Cinnamon says, smile, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So we will, Lisa, if you have some maybe parting words and any blessings, because you're the best at that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
Cinnamon says, so many shame or guilt us for asking for help. Yep, that's exactly it.
Mm-hmm. What I do have to share is, as you reflect, as you start to reflect, and go within and ask yourself these reflective questions that were beautifully posed. By the way, sister, this was a beautiful,
Thank you.
a share. And like you said, it's, this is just looking at it, right? Looking at your life and reflecting upon these questions. And we all have room for growth. That is what life is about, right? We are here. Welcome to the school known as Earth. And it doesn't always have to be so serious either, right?
Mhm.
Don't be hard on yourself, because we have all had traumatic experiences. We've all had some dark times and dark thoughts. But in this moment, as you can shine a light upon what you're reflecting and moving through, be gentle with yourselves and remember to take that pause and breathe. And all the answers that we seek are within. Yes, going outside of ourselves and asking others, like you said, sister, asking for help, or asking somebody, have you ever experienced this? Have you gone through this? Because sometimes that's how we move through things, is being able to relate with others and hear from others that they've had some challenges similar like yours. And it's okay. Right? Forgiveness. That's forgiveness. Learning how to forgive ourselves and surrendering our ego, surrender the ego, and make space for higher self, which is your authentic self. And source does not force, and source holds no judgment. Like you said, sister, there is no right and there is no wrong. These are just experiences that we've gone through on our journey. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. That was very beautifully said, as usual.
Mhm. Well, it's part of the right, when we gather together, right? When two or more are gathered,
Mhm.
source is there. We are fractals of source, right? We are that light of God. And sometimes our light can be dimmed by these experiences that kind of make us a little hard on the outside, but it's learning how to shed those layers and learning how to move through them with love, right? Love, no judgment.
Yep. And being aware this week of the 3 questions. Where in my life do I work the hardest to stay okay? Where do I feel responsible for other people's comfort? And what part of me is tired of being strong? You don't need to solve the questions. You just need to notice it in your life. Until next time, and lesson 2.
Mm-hmm. And for all the mothers out there for next week, have a wonderful Mother's Day.
Yes. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. And Soulfire Ascension will see you on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And as Cinnamon says, blessings, everyone.